Arthur Mitchell. I'm already doing that. But thank you for the advice though. Which I haven't done the speed drawings as of late. I mean on the last couple of drawings, but that is a thing that I do. Yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah, I just stopped and I think for a while I'm gonna be 100% yeah, just 100% just the live streams in real time. But thanks though. L T727. It's a question. I'm just curious. Self-aware that you're good at drawing, right? Eh, maybe. I don't know. As an artist, I'm about to start college. I'm okay at drawing, but I want to pursue art. How? What should I do? Just draw. Or just pursue art any way you want. And if you're going, are you going to college? You're taking art in college? Is that what you're saying? Like, I don't know what to be, but I want to draw and make money, so what should I do? I mean, if that's what you want to do, I would say just do that. Like, it really, I'd say just do it. Like, let people know that you are doing art or taking on commissions. And people will start knocking at your door or sending you messages in that regard. I guarantee you. But if that's what you want to do. Like, are you wanting, like, and that's another question. What type of art are you, like, how are you trying to sell it? Are you trying to sell, like, commissions, or are you planning on drawing things from your own imagination and then selling those, like your original work? Or do you want to, like, do prints? Or it's many options as far as how, like, how you want to do it. There's many routes to take. Like I said, I really can't give you a straightforward answer because there's so many directions you can go in. Like I asked you before, what are you going to college? What are you trying to pursue in college? You said you were going. If you don't mind me asking. So what I like to draw, what I like to do is to animate books, design people's characters that they can draw, or even animate my series. How would I start that? That was a good question. I would try to try to figure out, like, finish planning it out first, right? And is that question, like, how would I go about, how do I start doing it? The only answer that I have for that is just to do it. Like, especially if you go online or like different social media platforms, or even look up groups that are looking for what you're trying to do, you know. If there's a certain style of art that you like to do and you come across, you need to try to find individuals that are looking for you know, what you're trying to sell, if that makes sense. And at the root of it all, again, you just have to start doing it. You have to start doing it in a way where you can at least have something to show people. So, do you have any like collection or anything, or a portfolio that you already established? Miguel T77 says, "I love your drawings, man. I've been watching since Tyrone Magnus, his portrait. Nanakuma." Oh man, you're very talented, man. I would like to hone my skills like yours. I don't know if you would ever like to do a tutorial how you draw. Like, how do you know how to blend colors so well? I've thought about doing a tutorial. And yet at the same time, it's like I'm actually still trying to figure it out myself. I'm actually still trying to figure it out myself. Let me turn this music down. Let me turn that drum and bass down. It was too loud. But gosh, so many ways, so many directions I can go in as far as how I learn. I'll start with this. It's important to try to understand the paper and the pencils that you're using. Meaning, it's different brands of paper, it's different brands of pencils, and all of them have a slight difference to them, but overall with the basic fundamentals, as far as the basic fundamentals of the technique, I think it's about the same. But it slightly differs based on the different brands of paper or colored pencils you encounter. But I think the basic, like when it comes to color and as far as blending, like the base color, I don't know if you notice how I'm not really trying to press down as far as the base color. I'm lightly going, you know, just lightly doing it, just strokes, just light strokes. A little bit of hatching and cross hatching. And just, if I want to go darker, I don't really apply pressure. I just add an additional layer, but keeping the same moderate pressure on it at all times. And what you're gonna do is, versus going 100% pressure, you're gonna decrease the chance of destroying the paper, but also you're gonna decrease the chance of having to buy more pencils. You know, because if you put a lot of pressure on it, it'll eat through the pencils very quickly. So, and again, that's something that I'm still trying to learn myself, because I'm heavy-handed, and I'm learning how to, you know, keep that same amount of pressure throughout the entire piece. No, I don't have a portfolio, so I guess I should start there and build up. But yeah, I mean, but you know, just discover and try to not only just to build your portfolio, but also in that experience, try to find yourself as far as, you know, what you enjoy about art or what you enjoy about drawing, and try to stay in that rabbit hole as much as possible. You know, and try to simplify it for you to the point where you know, like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like, this is the type of drawings that I want to do, and this is what I'm trying to sell. You know, try to keep it that simple, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself too much. Because I've from personal experience, I've done that to where I've learned so much to the point where it's hard for me to. I have a tendency to overthink a lot because it's just so many ways I can approach certain art pieces. Because I've dabbled in a lot of mediums and a lot of different techniques. And so my mind is constantly going like a million miles per hour. It's just like, okay, what is the proper technique for this? And which route should I choose, you know? So I think that's, first of all, on your journey, you don't want to try to overwhelm yourself too much. And you say you were going to college, right? And I ask you again, are you taking art in college? I haven't started yet, but I am. Okay, and keep in mind, there's another thing you're gonna come across too. When you're under the influence of teaching, like the instructors are paid to do a job, which is instruct and teach. And in most cases, not all of them, but in most cases, like when you go to especially a college, they're gonna try to mold you into what they feel you should be as an artist. And what I mean is that can become a problem if deep down you do something within that class and you're so passionate about, 100% passionate about what you've done, you're proud of what you've done. It turned out 97% the exact way you want it, and then the instructor come through and it's like, it's not right, you know, and they'll give you a grade based on that. How would that make you feel? And I'm not trying to put pressure on you or anything, it's just, you know, just a general conversation. Like, if you do a certain thing and somebody else you do a certain thing and you're proud of it, just so somebody else can tell you that it's not right, how would it make you feel? Yeah, my teacher told me I got a 98 on one of her art projects that took her weeks to do, but everyone else got 100. He said I'd feel like crap. Yeah, but that's the possibilities of, you know, going to college, and that's what you're facing. But in the outside world, it's just the same type of judgment, to where not everybody's gonna like what you do, you know. And not everybody likes what I do. I mean, clearly the you know, the subscriptions and all that shows. And ever since Tyrone Magnus put up that video of him reacting to it, that was awesome. I kind of went through a dark phase to where I deleted my old channel, and what you see now is my, you know, it's my new channel. But yeah. Going back to the you know, the influence a person might have over you, and they'll judge your work a certain way. In the outside world, you can you don't have to take that to heart, you know. At the end of the day, it's just someone's opinion on what they see from their perspective. So again, before actually starting a career in art, just try to find out what makes you love it. What makes you love art, or anything for that matter? What makes you love it? Like, why do you love it so much? I understand. I like listening to your advice. You're very wise. I wouldn't go that far, but no, please don't go, man. I like your art. Nah, man, I'm not going anywhere. But like I said, at the time, this was probably about maybe 4 years ago when I went through that dark phase, whatever. I'm well over it now. So you don't have to worry, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, there's nothing no one else has done, and you know, and I appreciate Tyrone Magnus. I'm still subscribed to all of his channels and his backup channel. I still tune in to everything that he does, you know. But like I said, these past 4 years, man, I've been on a much further journey on everything I just told you. I've been on a journey for myself, you know, on a journey of self-discovery, of, you know, what makes me love what I do. Why do I love it? And try to stick to that as much as possible. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me about certain projects or certain art things, and it was good money that was offered to me, but I turned it down because deep down it's like, it's not really just about the money for me. It's like you have to have a love for it first, you know, versus it being only about the money. So you have to have a love for it, for what you do, even regardless of what anyone else may think. So if a customer comes your way based on what they've seen you do, and they want a commission or something that reflects what you love to do, that's the kind of customers you want. You know, because there's many different aspects of art to where, you know, like customers, you know, it'll likely get you out of your comfort zone at times. Again, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad risk to take, you know, just to get out of the comfort zone, because sometimes you have to make that sacrifice, but try not to stay out of it too long, because at the end of the day, it's like, what's the point of taking on stuff you really don't want for the money? And, you know, you made the money, but you're not happy, you know, your passion wasn't there. So you said, the reason why I like art is I've drawn for a while, but I've never taken any further than simple anime drawings, like OG anime style, in my opinion. Simple, but I can't draw anything else than that. like Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama style. And the traditional anime style is well respected, and it is, I think it's great. I think it's great. And when people ask, like a lot of people ask me, like, would I be interested in drawing, like doing an anime character in that traditional style? One day I would like to, but I'm a huge fan of realism as well. So I've been on this path of still continuing trying to combine the two worlds together in one, of the traditional anime style and realism, you know. And I'm trying to do it in a way where one is not as dominant as the other. And so going back to the style that you say you've never taken it any further than simple anime drawings. Do you like that? Do you like the anime drawings? Or in your words, simple anime drawings? Because it might be a reason why you haven't taken it further than that, because you love it just the way it is. You love where you are. Said not yours, just wow, man. You make that OG DB style look like kids' drawings. Nah, I ain't gonna. I appreciate it, but I don't look at it that way. When you say the OG kids drawings, like make the OG drawings like kids drawings, I look at it in a way where it's the OG. That's where the blueprint came from, right? Like that's where the blueprint of, you know, all the anime fan art, it came from the originators, right? The OGs, the original gangsters. And I'm one of those that, out of the utmost respect, will say that nothing is better than the originals. You know. But I think that's another reason why I approach anime characters the way I do, is out of respect from where the original concepts came from, the original style came from, or the original idea, right? Said, yeah, I do. I guess you're speaking in terms of, yeah, you do like the to do colors. Like, how do you do it? But I'm not sure how long it'll take because I'm not very patient. It's like, for example, I can draw in an OG picture of Piccolo in 30 minutes, but for colors, I want to make it like how you do. So it basically copy, because I like how you do your art. No, you're fine. I mean, like I said, I appreciate that, man. But and in a sense of you trying to learn how to do this, like I'm, you know, you don't have to apologize. So I do understand. And you said you're not very patient, and that's another thing you have to work on when it comes to art. You have to have patience for it. Definitely have to have patience. Like I said, something you said will take you 30 minutes. It'll probably take me about 10 to 15 hours. So you definitely got to have the patience, man. not only in art, but just take time to learn. You know, just take time to have patience to discover yourself, right? Say if you try to rush to get a foundation started, it's not going to be 100% stable. You know, because you rush to build something and it's just, no, it's not stable versus if you were taking time. So. And I think for me, I've been involved with the colored pencil out of the 17 to 18 years I've been involved with art. I started taking it passionately. Out of 7 years out of the 18, I've been involved with the colored pencil. And I definitely was not the way I am now 7 years ago. And if you're not a stranger to graphite, which is the black and white pencil, it's kind of the same technique. It's just still have to do your hatching and cross hatching. But when it comes to colors, that term blending is more involved, because when it comes to lights and darks, a purple doesn't necessarily seem like a purple when you have a lot of lights and shadows involved, does it? And you have to take that into consideration and visibly learn. Just learn what you're looking at. If you're drawing something from reference, have a keen understanding of what you're truly looking at. You know. And you have to turn, you know, you have to kind of switch back and forth from the left brain to the right brain, so you can understand at particular moments, a green doesn't necessarily look green when it's a third dimension involved with lights and darks, shadows, tints and shadows. Man, green can end up being yellow or brown in certain aspects of it. And obviously, if it's a lot of shadow involved, if the green appears mostly brown, or if there's a lot of lighting involved, a green will appear mostly yellow or even white. And I wish we could meet one day and just have a drawing session and me asking you questions. Are you sure you can listen to this, man? I mean, if you're sure you can listen to me, we can arrange that someday. Maybe. But like I said, man, there's just so many. It's hard for me to give like a straightforward answer because there's so many layers to this, you know? There's so many layers and so many paths you can go. And I've went in so many different directions, you know, to where I'm sure you're very calm like Bob Ross. I don't know, well, even with Bob Ross, like, he was calm on camera, but behind the scenes is another thing from what I heard. Personality is a little bit different off camera. Well, was a little bit different off camera. I'm just joking. I'm not. I really don't try to get upset or get hyped or active or anything like that. Pretty sure it'll be a nice conversation if we meet one day. Be a nice vibe, a nice talk about art. So Miguel, how old are you, by the way, if you don't mind me asking? Oh yeah, 19. I turned 32 this year. So you still got a little bit of time. I'm not gonna say a little bit. You got plenty of time to still try to find yourself. Could be you have maybe a little time, or you have a very long time to try to discover who you are and what you want to be with art. So, wow, you're definitely my life's teacher. Ugh, that makes me feel old for some reason. Nah, man, like I said, I've had my experiences, and I've made a lot of mistakes. Oh, and that's some good advice too. Because there's a few people that I know that decided to walk away from art because they were just that disappointed in their mistakes. And I try to encourage them and tell them, it's like, embrace those mistakes and actually try to learn from your own mistakes. Because that is the best way you're going to improve in whatever you're doing, is learning from your own mistakes. Because in reality, nobody knows what those mistakes are, because they're not walking the path that you're trying to walk, and their perspective is different from yours. 9 times out of 10, everyone else's perspective is going to be different from yours. And deep down, you know what you want for yourself. And so when you do something or come across a task or anything, you know what the mistake was for yourself. And just don't get discouraged about it. Just acknowledge what the mistake is, and you'll know how to fix it next time. And not just art, that's just with anything that you want to do with your life. I've definitely made a handful of those and still making them. I made several mistakes now. It's just, but I'm not upset about it. I feel great that I actually acknowledge those errors as my mistakes. And I'm contemplating as I speak on how to improve it next time. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many talented individuals that walk among us today. You know, that are not being recognized. That are not being recognized, and people still choose to go to the ones that have passed. The masters that have passed on. And still try to make documentaries and biographies about, you know, the art pieces, and try to figure out what those artists, what they were truly thinking about, what was the message behind those masterpieces. And yet you have artists that are still alive that are creating masterpieces, and people won't even give them the time of day to ask them why did they do what they decided to do. But instead they'll make their own perspective on what they think about it, and beyond them saying they don't like it, it's just they'll make it to the point where it's just like, it didn't come out right. You know, don't attach to that statement. If you're proud, and again, if you're proud of what you do not attach to people that are going to say that you've done it incorrectly. At the core of it all is, again, it's not going to satisfy everyone. And your work is not wrong because other people say that it's wrong. You know, you just gotta accept the fact that it's not the way that they would intend to do things. So what do you mean errors? I see perfection. Oh, you're talking about my mistakes. Yeah, I made a couple of them, but you won't hear me whining and complaining about it. Like I said, I know what those mistakes were. In which I would encourage a lot of other artists to not, you know, don't even disclose their mistakes. Don't even disclose them. So what inspired you to do art, if you don't mind me asking? So what inspired me to do art? And it's funny that you mentioned Bob Ross, because that's where my inspiration came from at a very early age. And I can't quite remember what age I was, but according to my parents, I was really young, and I think they said I was probably in the first grade when I started watching Bob Ross, the reruns of the Bob Ross show early in the morning before catching the bus for school. And they say they remember me, it's kind of like I was in a trance watching his, shout out to Jones says the happy trees. Yeah. Bob Ross. But, they described me being in like a trance, just watching his, you know, just watching him work in the mornings before school. I mean, before catching the bus. And I heard him speak at 6 years old, I guess. I didn't understand what any of those terms meant, or what he was doing, or why he was doing it. I just know I was mesmerized by what he was doing, and to the point where I wanted to do it myself. Now, I didn't expect it for me to last this long with it, but that's where the core of the inspiration came from. It's just watching Bob Ross work and was fascinated about what he did, and to the point where I wanted to try it myself. Now, I'm not a painter like him, but when it comes to applying supplies to a canvas, in that aspect, I knew that's something that I wanted to do. So yeah, that's where my inspiration came from. I don't know why I was just so fascinated about beginning with a blank canvas to this masterful art piece out of his mind, out of his own head. And I didn't even know what the term art meant until I was like maybe 10 years old, to be honest with you. And so many people, I remember people telling me between the ages of like 8 to 10, it's like, wow, you're gonna be a great artist someday. And I keep thinking in the back of my head, what is this? What is art? I didn't even know what the term meant. Somebody really used the term around me. Even with Bob Ross, I don't remember him saying art. It's just the happy trees and the brushstrokes and the sound effects of the you know. That's all I remember. I didn't know any art terms or anything. But as the years went on, I just became more inspired and more fascinated the more art that I've witnessed from other artists such as MC Escher, Van Gogh, Pablo Picasso, and one of my favorite artists, Salvador Dali. And MC Escher, that's one of my favorites too. But Salvador Dali, I watched one of his, watched that documentary of him, and you know, I was just wow, you know. But that's where my inspiration came from. Is just witnessing other people's work to the point where I loved it. Point where I loved it too much, where I wanted to get my hands on it and do my own work. And recently, since that leads to the question, like, what inspired me to get involved with portrait drawings so heavily? I'm a huge fan of light, and I just discovered this about me maybe about 5 years ago. I discovered that about myself, that the thing that attracts me to a good portrait is a good light source. And depending on where the lighting is positioned and how the subject responds to it, how the shadows respond to the lights when it casts it upon a subject from a certain angle. And just when I come across images, or when I see, even go out in public, when I see people in the light, it's just the sunlight is just hitting them in that bright way. It moves you. Well, it moves me. And I was just like, wow, I wish I could draw that, you know? I don't know why I love things so much to the point where I want to draw it. I'm still trying to figure that out. Why I have so much love for something to the point where it's like, I gotta get my hands on it, I gotta draw it. But yeah, the light, which that inspiration also encouraged me to get more involved with photography. And I've purchased a lot of equipment as far as lights and cameras and backdrops. And I've taken a few shoots over the years and trying to learn more about light from certain angles. Why I'm so motivated to do that and still trying to learn it to this day is just try to really analyze what I've discovered from taking photography. Analyze what I'm really looking at from a left brain perspective. You said my inspiration is from my uncles. One's a painter / drawing, and another is a tattoo artist. And while I wanted to try to do something else, I fell in love into the category of anime. Yeah. And even the anime in general, that's an interesting story too. But maybe about 4, well, I'll take that back. That's probably about 6 years. I've only been drawing anime characters for 6 years. Hence, it's the same time that I actually started learning how to work with color. So I felt with the anime drawings, the anime art, color was a necessity. When it comes to anime characters, it's their color, and that's another reason why I got into color. But the reason why I actually got into anime art was my cousin. There's something that he wanted to do, and I tried to encourage him as much as I could to do it, and he kind of just, drifted from it. Because he said one of his friends told him that it's really pointless to do anime art because there's no money in it. And I told him there's money in anything, especially with anime, as hot as it is now. And I was like, I'll show you. And so that's when I just started drawing anime, which I've been a fan of anime since I was a child. So it wasn't too foreign from me to draw anime, but that's where the inspiration of me, the anime, came from. Is to let my cousin know that, yeah, you can do something with the anime. So don't let anybody discourage you simply because of how they feel about certain things, or try to influence you away from something that you truly want. Because it's like anything else, you can a lot of success in anime, but at the core of it all, you just still got to try to discover which portion of the success do you want. Like, which route do you want to go with that success? And fast forward, I've been hooked on drawing anime characters. It's like, for your drawings, are you using references? Yeah, it's several. It's several inspirations that I gather and just kind of come up like a few rough sketches. And I always keep references in front, especially with anime characters, just so I can make sure their colors and everything is correctly. Make sure that their colors are right, And I also have, well, I'll show you my other references that I use. Like, I have this guy. I have several of these, which they're basically drawing figurines. And you can pose them certain ways, and with the lights that I have. I cast lighting from certain angles to understand how the light or what the light is doing on the subject at a certain angle based on the pose that they're doing at that certain angle. And so yeah, that's, you know, which I recently just started getting to these probably about a couple of years ago. Yeah. And then if I want like a realistic perspective of how muscular anatomies work, I have a more realistic figurine, right? And so even from this position, you notice how the light of what it does to the subject's muscle structure. And that's a pretty dope muscle structure. That could be like a, you know, like an evil individual that's powering up, you know. But actually, that looks like Master Ultra Instinct lighting. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously you can, you know, reposition it from certain angles, but yeah, I've learned a lot about the anatomies when it comes to references. I've referenced from mostly these. Yeah. Which if I show anybody else, they're probably thinking like, yeah, he's weird, he's got dolls. But yeah. But those are drawing figurines that you can get off of Amazon. Like this one costs 15 bucks, and the realistic version costs, this one costs 50 bucks, 53 bucks. And you can pose it any way you want. The joints and everything move, so you can pose them any way you want. And like I said, this is basically like a Super Saiyan, like a Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan body. A full body where you can, you know, pose at a certain angle and direct the light a certain way and just draw. Practice. You said, no man, nothing wrong with those. I'd use them too. Yeah. And again, you can find that on Amazon. They're called drawing figurines. It's like if I want to know what the I want to pose like a bicep. I want to understand what the hand is flipped around. Understand how a bicep looks at a certain angle. You just have so many options to learn that from these things. Thanks for your advice and the talk. Yeah, man, I appreciate you stopping by. Good luck on your drawing and keep up the good work. Will do. But yeah, man, keep me up to date on your decision as far as what you want to do. So I hope I can make it to the next stream. I'll try to get more consistent on timing. That might be my fault as well. I'm not really good at keeping a consistent time. It's been completely random. Do you have like a Facebook or anything? Alright, you as well. I think I'm gonna get off of here. Well, what time is it? So you have an Instagram. Shoot, hit me up on there, man. Like I said, I mean, beyond this live stream, you know, just shoot me a message if you got a question or anything. As a matter of fact, what's your Instagram? I'll look you up now. I'll look it up right now. Got the phone. I'm searching you right now. Oh, for real. You said Instagram, right? Oh no, it's not coming up on my end. I'll tell you what, my Instagram is VinceArtz_. And for some odd reason, it's not coming up. So type in your name in the search. Not coming up. I'll comment my. Okay. And that's my Instagram. Yet again, dude, like, if you want to just message me or anything, if you want to pick my brain, yeah, because there's a lot of crap up there. If you want to pick my brain, like, you know, I can't guarantee that I'll get back with you every single time. I am pretty busy, but for the most part, you know, I'll get back with you. We can chop it up about art. I think I'm gonna move on to this piccolo. So you followed? Gotcha. I just followed you back. Yeah, man. And so you seem like good people, dude. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, take care, Miguel. No problem, man. I'm probably gonna be here for another 30 minutes or so. I'll start on this. I'm gonna start it. I'm not gonna finish this drawing. I'll talk to you later, man. Yeah, it's a cool guy. I'm gonna draw this upside down.
Embarking on this new frontier. This hasn't been a really fun year, but I'm still receiving some clear peace of mind. Won't you come here with me? Yahusha will arrive quickly, bringing healing to the sickly. Give me a shot, okay, Ripley? Believe it or not, I'm swiftly running to my quiet place because I desire space. So please don't violate.
Negativity we will annihilate. Let all my people know we ain't got time to waste. Open your eyes and let your pupils dilate. Yahusha, while we praise your name and keep the faith remaining strong. We carry on from day to day. Let's keep it pushing, cause I know you'll make a way. You'll make a way. You'll make a way. Yeah, I know you'll make a way.